over here. So we got a couple other things that we can chat about. You had mentioned that you have FF16 thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a lot?
Um,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
you've
I
played
don't
through
know.
the game. I would guess.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Yeah, you almost
I
okay.
I think I'm gonna finish either today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just do mine. Mine's super short, and then I'll let you go. Mine will be short. I promise. That DC card game came out. I mentioned it last
mhm.
time. It's going into open beta as of yesterday. Hadn't gotten to play it. My plan was to play it this weekend though for like an hour or two. Um, I do like playing me card games for a little bit. Looks interesting. I like DC characters, so just as a note, I didn't put it in the news because like I didn't play it, and also it's not really big news. It's not a big game. This might be one of those games that just doesn't succeed. It'll probably last like 2 years and die or something like that. I don't see it succeeding.
The card game market is just like, it's just rough. I think it's
It's very rough. Even like I think Snap still does well, like generally.
yeah. I think Snap probably found its niche, but you've got Hearthstone and you've got Magic and
A plethora
um
of others.
Runeterra.
Runeterra is really niche now.
Is it?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And Snap is hitting its share. I think this DC one's probably gonna get killed off quickly. The other problem is like, okay, Marvel Snap, Marvel got to be a really popular IP, so
Yeah.
that worked in its favor. DC is not. DC is not the cool IP compared to
Yeah.
Marvel, so
Yeah.
it's not. Even though there's like some cool characters in it. There's like a few characters that people know of,
DC wants to be what Marvel is, but
but
they're not.
can't. They're
Like,
so
yeah.
bad at it. Basically, the things that carry DC are like in the movie side. It's basically been Batman. It's
Yeah,
just been Batman.
it's Batman. The
It's
Superman
just Batman.
movies have been pretty bad, unfortunately, for the most part.
Yeah, it seems like Batman's been the one that's gotten the most support, and everything else outside of one or two hits has really
And
missed.
the first Woman movie was really good. The second one was so bad, though.
It was
Holy.
horrible. Oh, it was horrible. I remember watching that at home, and I was thinking like, oh, this is really bad. Oh, this is getting worse. Why is this getting worse? What happened? Same thing with
Why did
the first Shazam movie was actually quite good, and I heard the second one is just not good.
Yeah, I saw the first one was a lot of fun. I didn't see any of them after that.
Yeah, the second one apparently was not. But anyway, point is, I don't think this game's gonna do particularly well, and I feel sad, but at the same time, it's like, well, DC's kind of just not. Not. There's one more thing I want to mention. I think we talked about this off stream a long time ago. You remember the time when our friend Nick mentioned the Megaman X dive game?
Oh yeah, the mobile game.
Yeah, the mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
That is shutting down in
Oh,
about
is it?
2 months, I think, maybe 3.
Sad. Well, not really.
I
not
looked at
really,
the game
but-
and I was like, oh wait, this is still in my library. First thing I see on it, we're closing servers. I'm like, and I have to be honest, I'm not shocked. Not at all shocked. It was amazing to me how they took a game that was fast paced and really fun and made it slow, boring, and intrusive in every way. I was like, wow, this is horrible. How did you make this fast paced game slow? So that was my only other thing. I figured that out yesterday when I was looking through my Steam library. I was like, what the heck? This thing is closing. Oh no. How sad.
I mean, you turned a fast-paced, skill-based side-scrolling like shooter action game into a gacha game. What did you think was gonna happen?
They could have at least made it fast paced as a gacha game. They could have been like, let's just take all the Mega Man X levels and like but you can use different Megaman X characters.
Yeah,
when you
but they
pull
can't
them.
make it skill based because then like it doesn't matter if you know pull crappy characters if you just play well. No, you need to like have stronger characters with better stats to be able to win the game.
Yeah,
So,
it's just they could
so
have done it better. They could have definitely done better and still kept the gotcha. That being said, it's awful, poopy, terrible gaming. Okay, that was it. That was all I wanted to mention because all my other stuff, I really have not had too much time to
Yep.
play. I mean, you've seen my streams. I played Pokemon and then I played Fortnite with Bree for like an hour.
Yeah.
I didn't play that long, so that's really been it this week.
Yep. And
So.
you're gonna have to get on the Diablo grind next week and actually finish the game.
Yeah, I know. This is all my fault. It's all my fault, to be honest. I just was like,
I mean,
I'm so
You're-
like, it's
you're a
frustrating.
you're a drifter as a gamer. You like going between different games.
I do, and the other part is I've kind of locked myself down from time with either work or travel.
Yeah.
And like, the other time I'm like, I'm gonna play Pokemon instead or something like that.
I mean,
So-
if you just focus on the campaign,
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do.
I assume you're gonna watch the cutscenes because you want to see the cutscenes.
Yeah, of
first time-
course. Oh
first
yeah,
time
and the
through.
cutscenes aren't that long. They're like,
No,
very
they're
short.
not. If you just focus on the campaign, you're what? Did you beat Act 3 or are you at the end of Act 3?
No, I beat Act 3.
I
Pretty
think
sure
you beat
I
Act 3.
No, I beat Act 3. I'm on Act 4.
Yeah, you're not that far. Act 4 is really short, and then there's Act 5 and Act 6, which are kind of like,
Yeah.
normal, like their acts. So you're more than halfway through the campaign.
Act
for
3
sure.
just sucked.
So, yeah, Act 3 is terrible. Act 3 is so bad.
Some designer went crazy that day and was like, how can I make this the worst act? Let's make the player go through this desert and just chase this character and then kill them like 7 times. That'll do it. They're gonna love that.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, that whole desert part was probably the worst experience of that whole game so far. I was like, oh, this sucks.
Let's just chase this camel with this like delusional like old guy calling you Deckard, and it's like, all right, this
Like,
is stupid.
cool guys. This is cool. All right.
Yeah, that was the worst.
Anyway, yeah, I'll be hopping on the Diablo train. Finally. Okay, like I said, that was it. I don't have anything else, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like
All right. So I guess I'll talk about Final Fantasy 16. Again, I have not finished the game yet, though I think I'm on the last level, the last main mission, basically. I'm gonna have I'm sure swath of side quests to do before I get to the last main mission, but I'm basically at the end of the game, and I've gotta say, I do not like the story.
Oh no! Oh no!
I do not like the story.
Oh, okay. We're not spoiling
I'm
the
not
story
gonna tell
here,
you
right?
no, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it's bad, but I just don't like it.
Is it
I just
underwhelming?
don't.
Is that it? Or is it just like silly?
Kinda, no, it's not silly.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of boring, and it's just all stuff that I've seen before. The villains are garbage. I hate the villains.
Okay, let's start with the villains. The villains are always. I feel like the villain is a really big piece of the puzzle of a story. If your villain stinks, it's really hard to get like a gripping story unless the main cast of characters are like amazing. How is the villain boring or bad? Like, what about them is boring? Are they just Dr. Mean bad is what I'm getting at? Are they just like, ha 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 ha, I am taking over this land because I can?
Not quite, but
Okay. But the villains suck. It's very similar to SO6. What's SO6?
Star Ocean 6.
Star Ocean 6. They just say the same thing over and over again using paragraphs to say something that should have been one sentence. Okay. So they use verbal diarrhea.
There's a lot of word salad with the villains.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
I mean, sure. Villains do that. I feel like villains do that, though.
Yeah, they do, but they say a lot of stuff without saying anything or explaining anything like what they actually want. And it just like their argument is just like it's it's just completely unreal. Like I like villains that actually have like a reason for them to be a villain and
Sure.
like in some sense, if you were twisted enough, you see, okay, I see where this person is coming from. Like, I can see why they think this way and why they want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
In this, I'm just like, it's just like, no,
Okay.
no. It's like the villain just wants to like take away all of humanity's free will and then delete humanity from the face of the planet. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Sure. Okay. So it's just like he's just evil. He's just a bad guy, but doesn't really have justification for his plan, his or her plans, I guess. There's not really a justification. It's like I just want to take away free will and delete you. Like okay, well, why? Did somebody hurt you? Do you feel like the reset needs to happen? How come? Um, I'm better than you, so you should help me kill your entire race. Yeah, that's not. It's usually not going to work out so well. I mean, anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Villains are not good. Okay, that's step one. What else is not working for you in the story? What about the characters, like your main cast of character, or in this case, I guess
I
one character?
generally I like the characters, I like the cast, and I like the world. And okay, the side stories, like the side quests, and the end, like the last part of like side quests, is better than the main plot.
Oh, that's
Like,
okay.
I don't like the plot or the villains. Like, I just think that's bad. The
Yeah.
side quests, at least, again, the end of there are plenty of side quests throughout the game that are just like boring and pointless. But when you get to the end of like a quest chain for one of like the main, um, like town leaders, like because you are allied with these different like town leaders across the world, when you get to
Sure.
like the end of most of those are really good. Like the side the side quests are better than the main story. It's like
I mean, I think that's
oh
not super unheard of, I suppose, but usually not a good sign when all of your side quests are just generally better than your main story. Usually not really like not your best bet. Okay. So you like the characters, you like the side quests, you don't like the villain, you don't like the plot of the main story.
I don't like the plot at all. I really don't.
Do you like the combat? I assume you do.
Yes, I do like the combat. The combat's fun. Though I've definitely gotten to a point where, and I mean the game's easy throughout, but like I've gotten to the OP point. The last icon you get is just completely busted, and
Mm.
like yeah, you just delete stuff.
Yeah, you're a train. Nothing's stopping you.
So, and I think there's a decent amount of like builds you can make with equipping different icons and stuff like that. So I do like that, but um, yeah, I mean the combat and the sort of like the side stories and the side characters are probably the best part of the game, in my opinion. But
Okay.
as we talked about, the RPG mechanics are like really weak. They're basically non-existent.
Yeah, we talked about that. We know the reason they do that. We know the reason. Okay. What else? I mean, the music's good. You don't even have to
Yeah,
explain
the
it.
music, the presentation is incredible.
I mean, we knew that was going to be good.
The kaiju fights, especially not the last one I did for the last icon, but the two before that are just ridiculous and incredible. Like those were amazing, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, it's hard for me to like say the game is bad or that I don't like it, because that's also just like not true. But God, the story and like the villains are just rubbing me the wrong way. Like it's really leaving a bad taste in my mouth right now. Like the game is fun. I've enjoyed my time with it, but like if I were to give it a score right now, I kind of want to give it a 7 because I just don't like the story. Like,
That's pretty harsh. It must be really. I mean, okay. To be fair, like a bad villain really just can just sour the like. I don't even know how to like your momentum to complete like the full story to feel like okay, I'm fulfilled. I have fulfillment now because like I've defeated the, you know, I've gone through this whole plot and it was interesting enough where it kept me, you know, on the edge of my seat. That being said, when that's not the case, it really sucks. It really sucks. The Corypheus syndrome is real. This is a Corypheus. This is definitely a Corypheus. It sounds like a Corypheus. And we don't like Corypheus. Because that's what, like, I mean, that wasn't his exact motive. He was boring as hell. A 7, though. 7. So reviewers gave this a 9 spoon.
it's like 80. I think meta is like 87 now, but
okay.
like 87. I think Open Critic it's 89. So
Okay.
it's high 80. We'll say high 80s. It's close to 90.
Okay.
I mean, look, opinions are opinions. There's some people that maybe like really like the story, but I just don't. I just don't. Especially as Ghost said, the second half, like the plot just like falls apart. The villains are just completely uninteresting, and it goes from like. And I kind of saw this take, and like I knew it was gonna go in the like, you know, sort of like magic god direction. It's definitely like foreshadowed, like, and you see this stuff going on even in like the early game. But when the plot kind of completely takes away like the political drama and like the world stuff that's going on and focuses solely on this like magic god, you know, god stuff going on, I don't like it at all. And I also feel like it's hard to say anything without spoiling stuff, but they're like part of what the villain is like trying to do is like break Clive's will and get him to like give in to the villain.
Okay.
And they don't do anything that would do that. And then they keep talking about like, oh, you have all these bonds that like bind your will to the thing, and it's like, and they just don't do anything. They just keep beating his ass, and it's like, well, why don't you try and like kill some of the people that are connected to him? And they don't do any of that. It's like, what? I don't get it. Like, what are you doing?
Like, that's not really torture. Like, there's torture, but then there's also like there's different levels of breaking someone down. Like, you can torture them, right? Which sounds like they did. They tried to hurt him. I mean, it's torture. Other way you could do it is you go through the people that they know and hold like close relationships with, and you start torturing them. And you be like, this is your fault.
And that's what I felt like they should have done, and they didn't do that.
Or you like destroy something they care about. You go to things that they care about, and you like the whole like, okay, like, let's do this. Let's make this like the tried and true Mario. Bowser captures Peach. For Mario, he cares about Peach. Bowser kidnaps Peach. So he didn't just capture Mario and just torture him to break him down or break his will. Like, you just capture the Princess Peach. You capture the other one. You capture the significant other. And that motivates you. In that case, you could also capture them, hold them prisoner, torture them, be like, okay, if you don't do as I say, I'm just gonna either kill them or continue to torture them. So you gotta do what I say now. And that's how you convert somebody. You convert them by like doing that. Like, you could torture somebody and do that, I suppose. Like, then they develop, you know, maybe even like a Stockholm syndrome. But like, does Clive, right?
Clive is the main character, yeah.
Does Clive have anybody he cares about, like, as like a close relationship, family?
Lots of people.
How about you just kidnap all them, put them in like a jail cell, and be like, okay, Clive, if you don't, if you don't join my side, I'm gonna torture them. I'm just gonna kill some of them. I'll just kill one every day you don't join me. How's that? Okay, now Clive has motivation, or he'll just break down and go like, "Please don't do it. I'll do whatever you say." Like, was that hard for? Do you think that's hard for them to grasp instead of just like, "I'm just gonna keep attacking you until you join me"? Like, that's not gonna really make someone join you unless you like actually defeat them and torture them. That like, or do something else. It sounds insanely uninteresting, is what I'm getting to, Spoon, and there you go.
Yeah, the villain, like the villains are definitely my least favorite part about, like, I don't like the plot, and I don't know if it's because of the villains or, I mean, I don't really like the content of the plot very much either, but
Yep.
the villains they're the worst. Like, they just suck. Like they're just, again, like the villain is like completely uninteresting with
Right.
literally no justification for what he's doing whatsoever, other than like, I'm God and I created you, so this is the way it should be, and I'm just gonna delete you because I hate you. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. That doesn't sound particularly great. That's just like, okay, you have a god complex. Got it. What else? But this is what happens. You got to make the...
I mean, yeah, this is the problem with like a game like this, where I don't know if you saw, but like Ian Bits, he did a video on this game.
Oh, I got to watch that and comment on it.
It came last week.
Yeah.
Or it was earlier. I don't remember. It was like it was earlier this week, I think, Monday or Tuesday. And it was a good video, and he said he really liked the game. But the game like has two pillars, and that is combat and story. Two things that it is trying to do really well, and if like it loses you on one of those things, it's really hard to like get you back. And the game lost me on the story.
Yeah.
Like at the end here, I'm just like,
yeah, that's Ghost just said it in chat actually. When the game is 50% cutscene, it's not 50%, I imagine. But when the game is mostly cutscene though, or like 30% or more cutscene.
Yeah, it's like 20 to 30%.
Okay.
Probably. It's a lot.
It's like a fifth of the game or more. A fifth or a fourth or a third of the game is cutscenes, and you don't like what's going on, you're just going to start either skipping them, or you're just going to be like, this is frustrating. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, if you don't, look, it's Final Fantasy, okay? Obviously, like, your big pillars you're going to lean on are your presentation, your gameplay. In this case, let's just call it combat for now. There's more to it than that, I imagine. And your plot, okay? Presentation, gameplay, plot. Let's just start there. Presentation being like graphic, sound. Final Fantasy typically nails that.
They always knock that.
They always knock that out of the park, right? Combat. Sounds like combat's great. Plot doesn't sound great for you in particular. Maybe for other people, they're like, yay!
I mean, the reviews that gave this game 9s and 10s, they all said they liked the story, and that's fine. You're allowed to like the story, but I sure don't.
Yeah,
I sure do not.
They're allowed to like a story that might not like pique other people's interest. It 100% valid. Fine. I'm sure there are definitely games where I really like the story, and somebody else would be like, that story stinks. Being like Dragon Age Origins, I'm sure there are plenty of people that don't like that story at all, and it bores the crap out of them. But I do. I like it a lot. Because at least the villain has some motivation. So in this case, like, you've got 2 out of 3 you like. One of them you don't like. That's a big deal though. That's a really big deal if one thing you just outright do not like is not working for you. It's not like the story's okay. You don't like it at all.
It was okay up until like, it was fine, and I'll say it was like above average. It was pretty good in the first like half to maybe 2/3, when there's the kind of like countries and the political drama going on and like all that stuff. And again, when it got solely focused on like the main villain and this God stuff going on, it just lost me completely, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, okay, now I don't like.
Now you
this
don't
at
like
all.
it.
Like,
Right. Now you just don't like it. So now you got 2 out of 3 left. Like, that's still a big percentage you're not liking. Like, presentation and gameplay aside, like, if you don't like the story, it's only going to grab you for so long, right? Like, that's just how it's going to be. That's kind of how I feel about Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I do like the presentation, even though England is really boring with fields. Like, there are some parts of it I like, and the graphics look nice. The gameplay's okay, but the story's terrible for me. So I'm like, okay, well, why do I keep playing? It's the same here. Like, you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. So, of course, yeah, I mean, like, for you, a 7, 7.5, whatever that is, that's pretty reasonable if you just don't like the story at all. You're just like, yeah, I don't like it right now. I don't like it at all.
I was like,
makes sense.
I was at an 8 for like most of the time playing in the game, and I'm like, yeah, the story is like it's decent, it's good enough. The gameplay's really good, the presentation's amazing, the kaiju fights are crazy, but yeah, the last like maybe like 10 hours or so, last
Yeah.
couple of sessions, last 10 hours or so that I played of just diving deep into this part of the story, and like the story like went down
It nosedived. Sure.
really hard in my opinion. I was like, yeah, oof, that's
Yeah, it
just
nosedived.
not good.
Yeah, I mean, that makes... And that's why it's like a 7, 7.5. Yeah, it makes sense. This is one of those cases, though, where I feel like I want to read a review now of this game. And I want to read the review of the plot. And I want somebody to spoil the villain for me and explain why the villain is interesting and why the plot's interesting. You remember how we talk about how certain games get a +1? There's some games that just get a +1.
Or +2.
Do you think this game got a +1? It's Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I can. Yeah, I mean, I think the meta for this game should be closer to 80 than like closer to than where it is, which is closer to 90.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how you like, story aside, I don't really see how you give this game a 9 or a 10. I really don't. Cuz it's just like, it's kind of a bare bone, like, there's combat and there's story. The open world exploration is like boring. There's nothing to find in chests. The crafting is basically non-existent. You just pick up crafting materials as you go, and when the game lets you craft a new weapon, you craft a new weapon, or you upgrade that new weapon and armor. The accessories are, vast majority of them are like boring, and you just equip, I mean, you just equip the things that are for the abilities that you're using, basically.
You just slap stuff on.
The skill tree is like, as I said, you can do a good variety with builds. So I'll kind of give it to him on that. I don't think it's amazing, but it's okay.
Okay.
Leveling up, like, you level up, but there's not much of a, I mean, you get stats when you level up, but that's it. Like, I feel like you should have gained new abilities or new combos or unlocked new skills in the skill tree from leveling up, and like, you literally get nothing for leveling up except you get 50 HP and you get like 2 to every stat every time you level up, and like, that's it. It doesn't, leveling up doesn't unlock any new abilities or anything like that. All that stuff is tied to story progress and how much ability points you have. So
that sounds very mainstream.
Yeah,
that sounds super mainstream. That sounds so basic. Basic RPG. That sounds very Western, but Western-esque.
And as I said, I like the world and I like the characters. As I said, I think I like the side characters more than I like the main cast. But so yeah, I think the side quests are really hit and miss. There are some that are like, do a really good job of world building, and again, like, the end of some of the quest chains are really good in the side quests. But the content of the side quests is boring most of the time, which I guess is true for most games.
It's going to be true for most games.
It's either like go fight a pack of enemies, or like go fight a thing, or go pick up a few things and then come back.
I wish games would just stop doing that. I really wish games would stop doing those side quests. It's a huge waste of time.
But there's probably like at least a third, if not like 50% more. Like they could have serviced the world building and the story of the side quests in probably like a third less, or maybe even like 50% less side quests. Like they could have cut out like half the side quests, and you wouldn't have lost much.
Yeah.
So there's probably too many. And yeah, I mean, I just think the game has a lot of flaws to be able to give it like a 9 or a 10.
Mm-hmm.
It does combat very well, and it does presentation very well. Plot, story, characters, that's pretty subjective. Again, in the side stories, I think it does it pretty well, though it also meanders and wastes a lot of time in those. Main plot was decent for maybe half of it to 2/3, and then the end is just bad. Oh yeah, I did forget about that. There are actual fetch quests in the main story. Like
Beautiful.
There are side quests there's like a side quest in the main story.
Love it.
So you get here's the worst one. You come back from doing, and I won't. This isn't a spoiler because it was shown in a trailer, and also you're gonna fight all the icons at one point. You come back from doing the Titan fight, which up to that point was definitely the best. It's one of the two best like kaiju fights in my opinion. That one and the one after that. You get back from doing the Titan fight, and you literally spend like probably like 2 to 3 hours doing three separate fetch quests as part of the main story. And it's just such a stark pacing contrast of like, holy shit, I just killed a fucking mountain. This was like amazing kaiju fight, to, hey, can you go get me some flowers, and can you go get me some gears, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
oh my god, I saw you defeat that mountain of a monster. That's exciting. Can you deliver my pizza? The address is 379 Boredom Street. It's like, well, I just killed that mountain. Don't you have anything else for me? Can I like fight some other monster? Can you deliver my breadsticks too? I really need breadsticks.
Yeah, that's right. It's sand. They have you go pick up fucking sand.
No.
Oh my god.
They're like, hey, nice job killing the mountain. Can you
geez.
Collect a pound of sand for me? I really need sand. I'll pay you 100 gald for some sand. It's like, I just killed a mountain.
It's Gil.
It's Guild in this. Forgive me.
Yeah.
There's like
Gil.
5 different versions of it. Guild, Gald, Gold, Lick It.
No, Gil. Not
Gil.
Guild.
Gil, okay.
Gil is Final Fantasy. Gald is Tales.
Guild, Gald, Blog, bleh. So, I just killed a mountain. You just kill this mountain. Triumphant victory. Come back to town. The town is celebrating. Confetti, fireworks, whatever. An old lady walks up to you and says, young man, you're so strong and powerful, but I need a blue mountain flower for my stew. Can you grab it for me? And then the green star shows up on your screen or something. Main quest. Get old lady Hagatha a blue mountain flower for her stew.
That's right. And then, you
go grocery shopping?
I forgot how, God, that's right. You have to get garlic and nuts as well during that
that actually does sound like a recipe for a stew.
It's so fucking stupid.
You killed the storm giant, the most powerful creature of all thunderstorms. Can you go to the store and pick up some garlic and nuts for my macadamia bread?
And look, there was it was a main quest. There was a purpose to these like side quests to do,
Yeah, but
and there were also within a few of those side quests you had like a heart to heart with a couple of like the side characters, which like that part was good.
right.
But I didn't have to go buy garlic and nuts to have a heart to heart with Jill. That could have just been part of the main story, where part of the main story was go talk to Jill in the hideout and just have a conversation with her, and that's it. Because you do that plenty of times throughout the frickin' game.
My
Like-
reaction to that is there literally no one else in the hideaway who could do this? No. Only Clive can go up to the surface world and grocery shop, apparently. Fucking, I love that. Love it.
There are some of the side quests and main quest side quests that like make sense that Clive has to go do it because you have to fight stuff, and
Yeah, sure.
obviously Clive is the best fighter, though there are plenty of other, at least as far as they say, competent fighters within your faction.
No, there aren't. Nope.
But holy moly, when they had me go grocery shopping and had me go pick up sand, I'm just pissed. I'm just like, why?
Oh my god, you slay 10 demon creatures. Can you go to the store and pick up my milk? You're the only one who could do this. Why?
So yeah, the pacing like contrast between, and they do this a couple of different times in the game, where like you come down from doing one of the kaiju fights and then you just do side quests, and it's just like main quest side quests, and then on top of that there's like a set of side quests that appears. So if you want to do the side quests are there too. And then, as I said, there's some side quests that actually have really good stories to them and help flesh out some of the characters in the hideaway, the side characters and the side characters in the world. I felt like some of those should have been like main quest side quests, as opposed to go get me garlic and nuts or go pick up sand for me.
Come on.
Like
That sand was valuable. We needed that sand to block up the river so it didn't flood over. Come on. We needed milk and cookies so the children could be happy, Spoon. You need your 300 experience for getting milk and cookies.
so yeah.
Isn't that
What I
weird,
would
though?
say about-
You probably got experience, too, for doing that, right? Because you finished a
Oh,
quest. So you got
You
experience.
have to be an AP in renown.
How embarrassing is it
Skill.
to get, like, a huge amount of experience for picking up somebody's sand and then going and killing, like, this demon creature and getting less experience? How embarrassing is that? This is
Yeah,
why
I
I don't
agree.
like side quests. I don't like the concept of a side quest, well, a fetch quest side quest, where it's just like, oh, you picked up 5 flowers. Good work. Here's 500 experience. Oh my god, you killed a swarm of ghouls. 30 experience. It's just like, what are you're telling me that slaying these ghouls is less rewarding than picking up a bag of sand? That's what bothers me. This is why I do not like fetch quest side quests. It is like the stupidest thing to give somebody. You should get 3 experience for picking up a bag of sand. Like, you get 3 experience and your strength went up 1, I guess. Like, that's what it should be. We need a realistic experience system. You killed 10 ghouls, 30 experience. Good job. Like, what? And I've seen that too. I'm like, in Diablo, it's like, oh, use an emote, Kiramon, 200 experience. Kill 10 wargs, 100 experience. It's like you can't seriously tell me that doing this emote is gonna give me more reward than killing 10 wargs. Like, that's why I don't like that stuff. That is the biggest reason. It makes no sense. It's just a giant joke. I hate side quests because it seems like, not all the time. It seems like some of the side quests in that game sound great. But then there's the ones, in particular the ones they put in the main story, it sounds like, where they're like, can you go to the store and buy 10 nuts? It's
Yep.
like, no. I am a warrior. I am a mercenary warrior. I just killed a mountain monster.
Yeah, and there's a bunch early on in the game when you're like traveling through the different regions. It's like, oh no, the bridge to the place that you have to go is broken. Go find the carpenter so he can go rebuild the bridge. So you go find the carpenter and then he rebuilds the bridge.
Right.
It's like, well, or the bridge cannot, or oh, we need a pass to get through this gate. Oh no, I got pickpocketed. I got pickpocketed and lost my pass. Now you have to go do this main quest, side quest to get the pass back. Like,
But you know what makes me even more mad with that kind of stuff too? They're like, the bridge is out. You can't cross. I bet if you ask the carpenter, they can do it. And then you go into combat, and you're doing like quadruple flips in the air, fire stomping something, and creating a typhoon. And
yeah,
they're like,
shooting,
can't cross that bridge though.
Yeah. Yeah.
This fucker just jumped 400 feet in the air. He can't go over that bridge? You're telling me I can't cross this because apparently I can leap and do fire somersaults and slam down on a monster to kill it and gain 3 experience. But I can't jump over a 10-foot, like, jump. I can't jump. I can't do a 10-foot long jump. You're telling me I can't do that. That's the kind of stuff that makes me mad about that stuff. It's like, the bridge is out. It's like, no. You guys figure it out. I'm gonna somersault fire stomp over it. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if the bridge is out, why hasn't the town fixed it in the first place? Why didn't the carpenter fix it? Is it cursed? Since I just spoon. This is why I get frustrated.
Yeah.
This is why I get frustrated.
So yeah, I think my overall assessment of Final Fantasy 16 is it's just a very uneven game. The highs are really high,
But the lows, man.
and when it's going hard, like the combat in general is really fun, and the kaiju fights are amazing. The presentation is amazing. The voice acting's amazing. The graphics are amazing. The music is really good. It's not like I think Xenoblade blows it out of the water in terms of soundtrack, but
Yeah.
like the soundtrack, the music's really good, as you expect from Final Fantasy.
Yep.
So the highs are really high, but man, the lows, for me, the lows are like the main plot, especially in like the last third to fourth of the game, and then like the main quest, side quests, and a lot of there's the fetchy, pointless side quests. But then there's the really good side quests too, where you're like, well, I guess I need to do the side quest because I may run into 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 that's like, holy shit, that was a really good side quest. Like,
you just roll the dice. Sometimes you get the really good one.
yeah, this
So you
was
gotta do
made
it.
by the basically the Final Fantasy 14 team, which is an MMO.
It's
you
an
know,
MMO team.
It's an MMO, and it's just like, it feels like some of it was in there also to just like pad out the length of the game, and I'm like not sure they really needed to do that. It's just like, I think I have like 47 hours or something like that, so the game is long enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, it like I'm not gonna tell you it's a bad game, or I've heard the take that like, oh, it's just this game is like really mid. I mean, I guess I could, if you took more issue, if you didn't like the combat as much and you took more issue with like the story and the characters.
Yeah.
But I don't think it fails completely on the story front. I think it did some good things in the story. I think the world building is really good. Some of the side characters are really good, and some of the side quests are really good for those side characters. But as basically the first thing I said when we started this discussion, I do not like the plot. I don't like the story, and I don't like the villains.
Yeah.
So.
Which can be frustrating. Very frustrating.
I think it's just really uneven,
Yep.
and I think, again, I haven't quite finished it, but I doubt the ending will change my mind. I think I'm at like a 7.5. I think the end of the story has kind of soured my experience a little bit.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, that happens. We get disappointed by things at times. Plot, just specifically talking about the plot.
I'm trying to think if like this will actually be my favorite Final Fantasy game. And it's hard to say. It's definitely better than 15, because 15 was like really mid. That game's like a 5 or a 6 probably. At least when I played it when it came out, that game was bleh.
Yeah. What about 13? You played 13?
I actually like 13. Oh no, okay. Also, well, okay. In my opinion, also 7 remake like blows this game out of the water. That game
Mhm.
is really good.
Mhm.
7R is way better than this game in my opinion. 7R is an easy 8. I think I find it hard to give it a 9, but like, 8, 8.5
Yeah.
probably for me is 7R. Um, 13 I liked. It's been a long time since I played it though. Um, I maybe like it better than this game though. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
This game is like, yeah, as I said, it's uneven. It's hard to say it's only okay or fine because technically 7 is like good. It's a good game, and I do think it's a good game, but it doesn't like it doesn't get above that.
Yeah, it doesn't check all the
Um,
boxes.
for me, it doesn't check all the boxes
Yeah.
for me. It basically not completely fails, but again, in one of its main pillars, which is story, which is definitely a main pillar of RPGs, it flopped. It flopped pretty hard
Yep.
on that. Again, I wouldn't say it fails completely, but I don't like it very much.
Yep.
On the plot.
That's
so
fair.
I think, as I said, definitely better than 15. Probably around the same as like 13. 7R is better,
Mhm.
much better. So
Okay. Gotcha.
I was hoping this was gonna be the one where I was like, man, Final Fantasy. I mean, I don't know. Final Fantasy for me is just like other JRPG. Like I just like other JRPG series way better than Final Fantasy. Like I like Xenoblade way better. I've only played one Persona game, I guess, but like P5 is one of my favorite games of all time. I even like Tales is a little uneven too, but I think like overall I like Tales better as well. I generally like enjoy myself more with Tales than I do Final Fantasy. So like I don't know. Guess it's just a me thing. I know people absolutely love Final Fantasy, but for me, Final Fantasy is like as far as JRPG series go, Final Fantasy is very meh for me. It's just like,
It's the
yeah, it's
mainstream one.
like I'll play it and I'll enjoy it, but like it does not check all the boxes.
Right.
And Trails of course, but that's like the super hardcore,
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, Final
But
Fantasy is the mainstream one. Final
yeah,
Fantasy
it is.
can't do the stuff that Legends does. It can't do that. It
Yeah.
wouldn't work as well. It would get an audience still. It just wouldn't work the same. It wouldn't sell the same.
No.
They could have done. I mean, like they could do what Tales does. Be fine. I like Tales. The Tales games, the way they do things like with combat and everything. It's nice, freeform, very very much like fast paced. You can do that, and they do that.
I'm also trying to think now if I like FF16's combat better, or if I like Tales of Arise's combat better. And I think it's pretty close. Like knee-jerk reaction, I would say I actually like Tales of Arise's combat better than this game.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's pretty close.
Cool. Okay. Like I said, my stuff was short today, so I don't have
Yeah.
anything else really.
I mean, we I guess I talked for a while. We used more of the time than we expected, I think, with how little news
Yeah.
news we had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No. We definitely used up time. So okay. Any other stuff?
nope. I think we're good.
No. Okay. All right. Let's conclude by saying again, we are not going to be here next week because I'm gone again. I feel like I've been gone a lot recently.
I mean,
Like
it's summer.
June.
It's summer. It's the time people go on vacation and stuff usually.
I've been gone so
So,
much.
it's
This
fine.
is like a pseudo vacation because I will be working. But it's like I'm not at home. It's like it's kind of in between there. But yeah, God, I told Kate, I'm like, okay, we're done traveling. We're done.
Just take a break
We're
for
done.
a bit.
We're done for
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
My bank account would thank me too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not going to be here next week. We'll be here the week after, which is the 22nd. We'll compile all the news together from the last few weeks into that session. And then the videos for this week will go up by Wednesday. And I think that's it. Thanks for everyone coming by. Thanks, Ghost, and we got to see this. That was nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Spoon, anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, amazing. Then we'll call it here, and I will go grab my coffee. I need my coffee spoon. I need coffee. I'm an addict. Need coffee. All right. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for coming by.